What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and today we're going to do one of my most requested videos I've ever had, and we are going to talk about Rituel de Fille. But if you are new here, happy Pride Month! Happy Pride Month, everyone, but specifically the new people. Talking to you. I want to hit 10,000 subscribers during Pride Month, and I'm very close, so if you're not yet subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe. Write out this video, check out the vibe, see what I do here, check out some of my other videos, but please subscribe. Please, for me. Thank you. Also, the like button's like right next to it. As I said, this is one of my most requested videos, so if it flops, I'm blaming you. I'm actually very excited to do this video. I've been getting a lot of requests for Rituel de Fille and doing a brand review. It's not gonna be like a brand review. There's definitely gonna be things I'm putting on for the first time, but there also are a lot of things that I have used for many years from Rituel de Fille that I guess I never like really put together like a package for Rituel de Fille. So this is like the package of reviews for things that I've already tried, and then first impressions for all of the things I've never tried from Rituel de Fille. I'm gonna try to get as much of it on my face as I can and discuss things that I might not want to put on my face and why I might not want to put them on my face with you. So we're just gonna like navigate the space. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that, but it's all Rituel de Fille. So if you're here for that, let's get into it. Wow, we're here, we've made it. It's the Rituel de Fille video. I already have a lip product on, but I do have a lip oil from them. Let's put that on. This is a product I've never tried from Rituel de Fille. They launched this a year or two ago, and this is the Thorn Bite Peptide Plump Cream Lip Oil. I haven't even opened anything. Hold please. The child is home, and I have to go say hi to him. The child is home from daycare. I don't know how the day went, really. He seemed in a good mood, but you might hear him as background noise, and you're just gonna have to accept that, because that is my life. It's also your life watching my videos. So, as I was saying, we're gonna put this on and just kind of like let this be my lip prep. There are other lip products I have from Rituel de Fille that we can put on later. So this will be a first impressions. I've never tried this product, as I said earlier. I think it's supposed to be a black sheer lip oil product. It's in glass packaging. I love when lip products are in glass packaging. Some people might not like that. If you're someone on the go and you're rough with your makeup, you might not like glass packaging, but it feels very sturdy, and I'm very excited about it. I've been on the hunt for the perfect black sheer lip product, and I haven't really found it yet, so I'm hoping that we find it here. It has a pretty standard applicator. I am gonna use a disposable wand, and the reason I do that, because I'm a content creator and because I get things in PR all of the time and I get to try a bunch of stuff, a lot of it doesn't end up working out for me, or I don't want to keep a lot of it, so I just use disposable wands on things that I can. That way I can pass on the product confidently to a friend or family member, and like my lips haven't been all up in it. See? A lot of Rituel de Fille's products have like a natural scent to them. In some of their products it smells like straight up lavender. But let's look at the product ingredients just for a quick second. What I've been learning in testing out these black sheer lip products is that because they're sheer and there is pigment in it, the pigment isn't like super consistent. It will like get pushed to like the outer edges of the lip and kind of like make it look like you're wearing lip liner. I am gonna take my finger and just kind of like rub it over. I tried not that long ago the Mob Black Lip Balm. This is definitely like less gross looking than that one was looking whenever I wore it. I'm gonna take my finger and kind of like blend it in a little bit. The feeling of the product is really nice. It feels really nourishing, but it's not really sticky. It's a really nice lip formula. I don't know that this color is gonna be most people's gig, but it's very Rituel de Fille. And I kind of like the way it's looking. I don't know. I haven't tried a black lip product that has like sparkle in it. I think that will probably be the ticket for me to distract from like the pigment moving around on the lips. Also, if I would have used the applicator it came with, it probably would have applied better. Something that is a downside of using disposable applicators to test products out is that you're not getting to apply it with the thing that they intended on you applying it with. And also, it's not sitting in the product forever and like really getting saturated in that product the way that the doe foot that is already in there gets. I do think I should have gotten a different color of this. Even though I've been on the hunt for a black lip product, I think I would have used like a clearer version of this a lot more, because this definitely feels to me more like lip care than like makeup. That's kind of where I'm landing with it. It feels really beautiful on the lips. I really like the way it feels. I'm a fan of that so far. Let's get into skin, and this one's gonna be like ups and downs, I'm fairly certain, but we're gonna start with another first impressions. I got this. This This is the Creature of Light, and I got the shade Moonlit Creature. If you've been around, if you're a OG Hody, if you're a Hody, not even a Victoria, you're in the pre-Victoria era, you know that I have tried a lab sample of this product, but I haven't tried the final, and I know there were some changes that were made to it between the time I tried it and this final product. So this product went through a couple of iterations. If you're not familiar with Rituel de Fille, sometimes before they fully launch a product, they'll do some soft launches and gather information in those soft launches to ultimately come out with a product that is the most pleasing to the most people, I think. But basically, you'll buy the lab sample, you'll test it out, you'll get a survey later, and you fill out the survey and you tell them what you think about the product. They ask you a bunch of questions. It does kind of take a long time. Like, if you have to kind of be very interested in it. There's no like penalty if you don't end up doing the survey and you just try the product, but it is helpful to them. There's been 2 previous iterations of this product. The first iteration was kind of like a deodorant stick highlighter situation, and I think I remember people saying that that product was like greasy. It kind of reminded me of the really jumbo like milk sticks that they used to have, not the mini versions now, but the original ones. And I don't know, I just feel like people were kind of mixed on those. And then there was a second iteration that was liquid, and it looked very similar to this, which was the one that I tried. It had like a plum scent to it that was really interesting, and I liked it, but I tried that formula right around the time that I also tried the Victoria Beckham primer. And if you are a Victoria, you probably already know that this is my favorite primer of all time, and it wasn't competing with it. My friend Andromeda, who also hooked me up with this promo code, I bought this all during the Memorial Day sale, got me 20% off. Their code is SAndromedae. I will put it in the bottom here, and I will also link it down below. I believe that is an affiliate code with them. I do not have an affiliate code with Rituel de Fille. There are ways to get a little bit of a discount throughout. They also sell at Credo, and I think that's maybe the only other official retailer that they sell at. And Credo also does some 20% off sales, so you can find Rituel de Fille other places. I highly recommend buying from their site. A lot of colors that they make are site exclusive, and they're always the best colors. Anyway, I got the updated version of Creature of Light, and I am excited. I think I've kind of come to more terms about like being a content creator and what my makeup collection looks like. And not that I want to have all of the makeup, and not that I've changed my mind about consumption and like buying, you know, not all of the things, but I feel really good supporting an independent brand. But also, like, I'm open to exploring other things, specifically now that my favorite formula has been reformulated from Victoria Beckham and I haven't tried the new one. So this is very possible that this could be really great and it could take it over. And it has a little bit of like an iridescence to it. I don't know if it's like catching on camera quite as much as it like happens in person. And honestly, I thought the shift would be like more. I feel like in the bottle, the previous version I had of this, it was much shiftier looking in the bottle. Also, I didn't finish my thought about Andromeda. Andromeda really liked the original version of this that came in the smaller bottle. I just sent it to them so they could use it and live their whole fantasy. And I think they've now run through a couple of these. You get almost 1.7 ounces, 1.69, or it says 50 mils. Sometimes I see that rounded up to 1.7. Maybe they're keeping us honest by putting the 1.69. That's quite a bit, especially if you're just using it as a primer. I think that's a very generous amount. No SPF, thank God. I did my skincare not all that long ago. I love a primer. I'll show you the consistency on the back of my hand. It has a nice lotion consistency looking, but kind of like jelly when I touch it. You can see the blue shift hopefully on camera a little bit more there. I'm gonna apply it to half my face. We'll take a look, see what it does to my skin, see if it just gives a glow, if it does anything else. Oh, it's really thin and it's melting right into the skin. And this comes in 4 shades. I remember the really distinct scent of the previous version of this. This is much earthier than I remember it being. There's always a little bit of like a hippie kind of vibe to some of the scents of these products. If you are typically sensitive to fragrances, probably natural fragrances, I would make sure you are looking at their ingredient list to make sure that there is nothing in these that would irritate your skin, as a heads up, because a lot of them have some sort of fragrance in it. That doesn't bother me. It's not super strong, and I've come more accustomed to appreciating those kinds of scents, but we'll see if it dissipates. But I'm also putting some other products on my face. It added just a beautiful glow to my skin. I don't feel like it did any like pore refinement. I don't know that it promises to do that, but it's just an incredible glow. It's really pretty. I will have to test around to put this under things on half my face to see if you can tell that there is something glowy underneath, because I'm just curious if that like blue shifty sheen that you see, which actually looks much more natural on my skin than you might think it would. And I think that's something that Rituel de Fille does very well, is like something will look kind of unwearable and have like these shifts and this kind of glow, and you're like, is that gonna look good on my skin? Normally they do it in such a beautifully refined and restrained refined way that's like, oh, it has that, but it doesn't look unnatural, which is like, how do they even do that? The word ethereal is like the best way to describe most of the products that I've tried from the brand. But yeah, you can see as I blend it like on my hand too, it's like shifty. But yeah, it feels really nice. I would say that it was like moisturizing or anything. This is like, also it's set, which is kind of rare for Ritual de Fille products. We'll talk about in a moment. It's not picking up. It feels like it's set. It maybe has a little bit of tack for work as a primer, which is good. Like if you're using it as a primer and you want a little bit of tack, it's not like Milk Hydro Grip. It's just like a gentle little grip. But it melts into the skin so quickly and kind of just becomes one with it. It's definitely like the thinnest version of this kind of thing that I've tried. I hesitate to compare it to Glow Lust at all because they feel entirely different to me. Like they just are not the same thing. This doesn't have any coverage to it, and I don't feel like Glow Lust does that. Glow Lust has coverage. The Charlotte Tilbury has coverage. This is kind of like, if there existed a step before that, like this is kind of it. I'm sure you can press this on top of your complexion product as a highlight. I don't know that I would do that with like this kind of liquid, but I would definitely mix it in with things. This is so beautiful. I really like it. I feel like I liked it the last time I tried it. I liked this finish. I feel like I remember it being thicker in the lab sample release that I tried. Not that the previous version didn't melt into the skin. I don't know. I feel like I don't remember it being so thin. I remember it kind of having more of the consistency of like Victoria Beckham primer, but I can't stop looking at myself. I'll zoom you back in to get a closer look at the complexion products. Let's talk about the concealer. This is the Soft Sorcery concealer. I can hear the cries of relief, the cries of joy now that you see me holding this box. This box is like oddly big for a concealer box. That's so weird, that choice. I have some thoughts. This is glass and this is plastic. Why? This might be why. This is a sticker on a glass bottle. And then this is, the logo is fully immersed. Like I can't, like it might rub off if I rub like long enough and hard enough. I don't know that it will. I'm not trying to accuse it of being like something that I can easily rough up. This one definitely was like, they bought the glass tubes in bulk and put the sticker on for branding, and then they paid to have this like painted on, or I don't know, however they put it on there. Interesting that it doesn't really say that it's the concealer on the bottle. I got the shade Spell 111. This is also something that I tried the lab sample release of. That's gonna come up a few times throughout this video. I'm not gonna talk about this product. Here's what I'll just briefly say about this version of the concealer. I really liked it. It had really high coverage, but it looked very skin-like when you would blend it out. And I really like to wear this as a foundation. This is my full coverage foundation because it was like the lab sample. It's not like the best packaging. It was just to learn the formula. I really like this product. This has a lot to live up to, but this was the quickest turnaround from lab sample release to the official product coming out. It took like months. The foundation, I tried the original iteration of that in the lab sample release, and it took like a year or maybe more for the real version of it to come out. And then also like I said, the Creature of Light also went through a couple of iterations before it came out officially. I don't know the exact timelines off the top of my head. Anyway, so obviously the packaging got an upgrade and I think some things were changed. Like they were gonna call it the Magic Soft Sorcery Concealer. It's had, what was the name of this? Oh, the Creator Concealer. It was like True Religious. I mean, I don't think that they said that, but I think that was like the ongoing assumption. Anyway, all that being said, I'm hoping that this lives up to the beautiful, wonderful potential. A lot of the people that I know that have tried both like both formulas. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that. Anyway, so I've been concealing first under my eyes before moving on to foundation. Like that's been my preferred way. The formula is quite thick looking. So it's kind of settled in shipping to the one side. And it's been like standing upright since I put it on my vanity. It's like a thicker formula, which is consistent with the old formula. So here's what the applicator looks like. Long, thin, and a bit rounded. I'm just gonna do my usual like small dot, and I'll do it on one side of my face. I'll do a little here too. They have a pretty great shade range of their concealer and their foundation, and they do a lot of undertones that I feel like aren't usually catered to. I'm not sure about olives. The shade is described as a neutral undertone with a bit of pink. That's me. I'll blend it out. It seems a very similar consistency to the one I already have in Love. And the reason I've just been holding off on buying this is because I have that one and it's like, oh, I don't need the new one. But I think a lot of you have been wondering what my thoughts on this might be. And it's beautiful. There's no point in me really comparing them. You can't buy the other version of it anymore. But look at that beautiful natural coverage. Ugh. This seems maybe a little bit easier to blend in than the other formula. formula, but it looks just so skin-like and blended out so beautifully. I'll zoom you in. You gotta get in here. Look at that. Beautifully blurred. I'm excited about this. I can't speak to its longevity. Obviously, I'm just trying it on for the first time in this video, but if it's anything like its predecessor, it'll have very good wear time and powder well. Will do all of the things you would want a concealer to do. So this is very exciting. I know that Teresa really likes this. Andromeda really likes it. Those are the people that I like know talk about it the most. They're really great resources for Ritual de Fille, and they seem to get PR from Ritual de Fille on a regular basis, so they normally know what's going on with the launches. I think Glam Smitty also gets PR from them, so if you have like a medium skin tone, she would be a great resource for that. I'm trying to think of a bunch of like more people who might get PR from them, but that's all I can think of. If anyone else knows of people who get PR and talk about Ritual de Fille a lot, let us know in the comments down below, because oh my god, look at that. Oh, it looks so good. I'm gonna shut up about the old formula, but the old formula does a really good job not creasing. And if this does that, then we're doing great. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I was really nervous about this. I'm not gonna lie. I was like really nervous about trying this concealer. I was like, what if I hate it? So far, so good. Okay, great. I'm glad that we can at least rely on that. So let's talk about the next product. So this next product has a dedicated review on my channel, and it's like an hour and a half long, but it's really that long because I was comparing it to the original formula from the lab sample release, and that's not something I would do in modern times. Anyway, you can skip around and learn all the things you need to learn from it. It's the foundation, the 3-drop foundation, the Weightless 3-drop foundation, and I know I don't like that product, but I'm willing to try it again. My skin has changed in the last couple of years, so it might wear better than it did the first time, and I might like it now. But I didn't want to waste buying a full bottle of it, and this is now an opportunity to tell you about a couple of things that I think Ritual de Fille does that's really great, and I think if you are interested in the brand, this is 100% where I would start. They sell samples, so you can get foundation samples, and for a lot of the products, you can get samples as well. So I believe I paid $15 for the foundation sample. I got to pick out 3 different shades. They come in these cutie patootie little tubs. Then I also got a credit. I think it was a $10 credit to buying the foundation. The foundation one is like explicitly you have to use that $10 toward the foundation. And they did send that foundation to me in PR then. I've gotten PR from Ritual de Fille like sometimes. I'm on their radar, I'm not on their radar, I'm not really sure. And then for this sample, you can pick 5 samples. I believe this was also $15 and you also got $10. That might not be right. I can't remember what I paid for the samples. Hold on. I just double checked. I did pay $15 for this, and I got to pick 5 of kind of almost whatever I wanted. Depends on what products they have in stock to sample. So you'll be seeing a lot of mini versions of things that I have tried before and I don't love. That way I could show them to you on camera, but not have to buy them. So I did buy 2 5 sample packets at the same time, and they gave me just a singular $20 credit. I don't believe you can stack, like if you were to buy multiples of these over many orders, I don't think you can stack them. You'd have to use one at a time. So, but I guess if you buy 2, they will just put the $10 together from both of them and give you a $20 voucher. That's at least my experience whenever I did it this time. So I highly recommend getting samples. I know that Ritual de Fille is a very interesting brand, and also it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the formula, even if you see people use them and talk about them. I totally get it. So that is what I would recommend you do if you are very interested in it after this video. That's where I would start. You can get your hands on some of it, understand how their formulas might work. I don't think the concealers have samples. Maybe that will be something that will come down the line in the future. The foundation definitely does. I believe whenever I had it the first time, I had Potion 110, and it's described as a fair shade for neutral to soft rose undertone. And I feel like I remember this feeling really light. So I did get some other shades so I could try a couple of different ones. Between all 3 of them, this one definitely looks the closest. This is the next shade up. And I don't know, like that's definitely looking a little dark. So the TLDR of that long video is I don't love this formula. I remember it just like kind of sitting on my skin and looking like a mask and not becoming one with the skin. That really was bothersome to me because the original lab sample release of the formula was so wild. It was something that you like put on your skin and then like it didn't look like it did anything for a second. And then like after like a minute or so, your skin was the most perfect it's ever been. Not like in a full coverage way, just like your natural skin was the best it ever looked. I really like that formula. And I kind of hope that maybe one day it'll come back, but I highly doubt it. And it was a really interesting formula. There wasn't a lot in it. I think Ritual de Fille used to describe itself as clean, which I think is a store that like sells quote unquote clean beauty, but I don't think it's part of their own personal branding anymore. There was like almost like nothing in that foundation. I can't believe that foundation worked the way it did. Like that was like, it was a crazy formula. Anyway, so I'm gonna put some on my palette here. I would say go look at that video if you want to like hear more thoughts, but I'll see what I can provide to you here. I'm just gonna dump a little bit of it out on my mixing palette because that's how I've been liking to wear foundation, is I put it on my mixing palette and then I go from there. I'm gonna use a brush. I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. I believe that they suggest you apply this with your fingers. And I got the same like weird masky thing no matter how I applied it back in the day. And I was using it with their Thorn oil. I used it like, I tried so many ways to make it work. Like I really did. And it just like never did. So let's see what we get going here. I also remember it not taking the powder well. It's also scented, it seems. Oh, I got foundation all over my shirt. Oopsie poopsie. Such is the way of life. I don't really know how that happened, but I sure did. Oh, it might have been when I closed the cap. It's definitely probably when it happened. It looks better than I remember it looking. It has, I think, too much coverage. I think whenever I think of like something like a serum foundation, I just want it to be like light coverage and easy breezy. And I think because this has this high coverage, and I didn't even use that much of the product. There was that size dot, which would probably be what I would usually use on my full face. Really loaded my brush and tried to have as little on my brush as possible. And like, that's how much coverage I got from it. The original one didn't have that much coverage and I really liked that about it. I don't love a ton of coverage, and I think in this kind of finish, this really wet looking finish that I feel like this foundation has, it just feels like too much, but it looks good. I think this combo I have going here, if this is the kind of skin you're into, I think you would really like this. I'm still kind of skeptical. It's going better than I remember it going, but I'm skeptical. And I think this is the right match for me, by the way. I'm glad I went with this one and not one of the other ones. I'll try the other one, at least the next shade up, to see if it like would work for me, because I think I remember whenever I was testing this shade back then, a lot of people were like, that shade looks too light for you, but I think I finally busted the myth that I'm darker than people think I am IRL. There's a picture of me and Kelsey Brianna J and Tina the Fancy Face, and I was like, if you ever doubted how fair I am, look at me next to these beautiful women. I look like a ghost. For all of the people who have denied how fair I am, look at me here. I just don't feel like it looks like my skin anymore, and I don't even mean like the ethereal glow that might be coming through from the primer. It's looking better than I remember, but I'm still not loving it. My skin looks good though. This finish is for a very specific client, for sure. Sometimes I think some of the stuff from Ritual de Fille is like clearly made for like people, like this is clearly for someone who has like dry skin and really wants to look glowy. Like that's the vibe I get from it. And it's like has that feeling. The texture of it, it is serum-y. It also has a little bit of a thicker texture than I think one might expect, but not like thick. It's just like you look at it, you're like, you think the word serum and you touch it, you're like, oh, it has a little more something to it than a serum, just like a regular serum. Let me give you the close up. You can see it. I'm not gonna say that it looks bad because it doesn't. It's just the finish. I'm not gonna powder my face yet because everything is cream. There's no powder except maybe the eyeshadow. The substance that those are is also strange. Let's move on to contour. If you are a Victoria or a Hody, you do know that I really love Intuition. This is not what the packaging looks like. This has been through it. I've had this for 2 years. This has been the contour that I have been wearing. I wear it in every video. I wear it every time I leave the house. I'm wearing full face of makeup, always on my face. Like it's always on my face. That's why it looks like this. I don't wear makeup every day, which is why it's taken me almost 2 years to fully pan it. But like, this is what mine looks like. This is how much I use it. I love this product. I could have re-upped on that. I don't really need it yet. I'm held off. But they released a full line of these contours and I bought the next shade Deeper. I've been thinking about like wanting to be a little more severe with my look, so this is the shade Omen. This is the Inner Glow Cream Pigment. They released more contour shades, but this formula also comes in colors too, and I will show you one of those in a moment. But let's take a look at Omen. Ooh, so this definitely is less gray than Intuition. I'm actually surprised by that. It doesn't look warm by any means, but I was expecting a little more grayness to it. See how it looks on the skin. I'll give you a quick swatch of both of them. I haven't had a full pan of one of these in a long time, and I'm like, that's a crazy experience. Mine's definitely like drier because it's been through the ringer and I've depotted it and I've moved it multiple times. It probably doesn't pick up as much pigment on the brush. Here's Omen. And here's Intuition. They're not as different as one might expect. I'm gonna build them both up just to like get a better look at them. That was more like how I would wear them on my cheek. Okay, so now you kind of see the difference. This is obviously, you know, a little bit deeper, made for someone with a different skin tone than me, but it doesn't mean I can't make it work. And yeah, so my thought was, what if I had two contours and I kept this like the darker contour closer? Anyway, I had a vision. I also just wanted to see, right? Because like sometimes you're just like in the mood for a harsher contour. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're normal. Maybe you don't. I'm gonna try to keep this more pinpointed. So I'm gonna use this really small little contour brush, fill it up with product. Oh yeah, that's definitely like much more than I usually do. It is more noticeable, but it's still blending out beautifully. It's still doing it. Ooh. Ooh, do you see that? Kind of cutty. That's kind of cutty. I already love this product if I've already fully panned Intuition. I don't know if the new contours are sold at Credo or if all the contour shades are going to be exclusive to their website. The reason I say that is Intuition for the longest time was site exclusive. And that's why I think it's really important. Like if you're going to shop with Rituel de Fille, I would suggest shopping from their site first before looking at other retailers and getting an idea of what they sell, because some of their most special and desired shades are only available on their website. Oh, wow. That's stunning. I love that. Okay, wait, hold on. I love it. Oh, I love it. I don't think it's gonna overtake Intuition. Intuition is definitely like much less detectable on me, but I might like this better for down here. I also had the thought, since I got the credit, I'll just buy Intuition with that credit. And I might also buy another shade of eyeshadow, which we'll get to in a second. Well, when I say a second, probably a long time. I've already been filming for 45 minutes. I don't know how long the video is as you're watching it. Sorry if you can hear the child. He's gonna like right by my door. I'm live, laugh, loving this. This is exactly what I wanted from this shade. It's just much more noticeable. When a bit of feedback I get on my videos a lot when I'm especially applying cheek products is that I don't apply enough to see, but I can see in the monitor that this is definitely visible. But you can also see the blend. Well, hold on. I'll blend it through my facial hair a little bit better. Sometimes it's hard to, there's normally like a line of demarcation there, but it's also my beard. So, oh my god, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's definitely like not what I was expecting, and I still love Intuition. I also want to like do like a more concentrate, like cut it a little bit more severely. This wouldn't be like something I would do all the time, but like really like kind of cut it. We're doing drag, mama. I'm gonna take the foundation brush and just whatever's left on the foundation brush. I do want to like soften this just like a little bit. The old Tom can't come to the phone right now. They're dead. I'm probably gonna apply this as a blush, but I also got their other blush. This is their Glasswing. This is from their like Nectar Balm line. I don't love these. At one point I had all of them. As a graduation present from beauty school, I bought the whole line of them. And these are a true balm. Like they are balmy, they stay balmy on the cheek, and they give you more of like a stain effect. That's it blended out. And then like if you really want it to like have more of the color, you can build it up. But like I don't know. This isn't my kind of thing. I do like this like watercolor look. I just never reached for these blushes when I had them because the color selection is all like bright, colorful colors, which is like fine if that's what you're into. They released two like nudier shades as like gifts with purchase at one point. I don't know. Or maybe it was like, I think gifts with purchase. They might have been just limited edition. And I thought those would eventually get added to the range, but they didn't. And there is a site exclusive shade of this called Wasp, which is yellow. And that's very cool. If you want to have a yellow blush, that would be my first recommendation. This is pretty, but like this is not a product that I would really use a lot. And I didn't use a lot, which is why none of them are in my makeup collection. It's pretty. They describe it as a grape jelly. That's not my gig. Like, I just wouldn't buy that. Should we throw it on the face? I probably should throw it on the face. I don't really want to. I'm gonna put a boundary. I know I don't like that product. I just got it to demo. I demoed it. I'll put it on my cheek at some point, but not in this video. Because I want to put Desire on my face. Desire is in the same formulation that the contour is in. It's just in a more of a blushy shade. And they have a bunch of shades in this formula that are blushier and you can do other things with. They have a shade called Eros, which I think Hannah always posed and used for a really long time. And that is a beautiful, like, cool toned bronzer. if you have fair skin or if you've been wanting a cool tone bronzer, if your skin's light enough to use that shade as a bronzer, I highly recommend it. But this is what Desire looks like. And I didn't buy the full size of Desire simply because Andromeda told me it's a lot like, I can compare it. It's a lot like Phytosurgence's Condensate, which I love and I have. So that's Desire. There's Condensate. It's much grungier looking than Desire, which is still grungy looking, but like compared to Condensate, it looks like pink. Well, it is pink. I'm gonna apply it to my cheeks. I'm gonna use my finger. With this formula, I typically just put my brush right in the compact, which is what I did with the contour shade. Sounds like there's a war happening upstairs. I'm sorry if you can hear that, but it sounds like we're having a disagreement about what we're having for dinner. We're not gonna do any bronzer today, by the way. I didn't buy arrows. I'm gonna apply this with my finger. I've never tried this shade before, again, because Andromeda said I don't need to. But that is quite lovely. I don't know. So Condensate, guys, do you remember when I was looking for a gray pink blush a couple years ago? I think this is it. It is not too far from Condensate. If you have Condensate, I think you're good. But if you don't have Condensate or if you tried the Phytosurgence blushes and you didn't love them, this is potentially something to try. Wow, I'm gonna build it up a little bit more. Why I like this. Sometimes when you wear a lot of cool tones, it kind of looks like dirty and I kind of like it. If finger painting your makeup on is something that you really enjoy doing, I think a lot of the Ritual de Fille products are really good for that. So keep that in mind. I will say, because we're now kind of at this point where I think it's worth discussing, price points of Ritual de Fille products I think are a little bit confusing. Because sometimes I feel as though their products are kind of similarly to other products in the category at the high end mark, but sometimes their products are exorbitantly expensive. You could argue whether the blushes are too expensive, but when it comes to the eyeshadows and their Thorn oil, it's like, why is that expensive? Some of it's just priced ridiculously high. And that's not to say that they're not quality products, but like, I think that price point prevents a lot of people from trying some of their products because it's like, why is that expensive? And I think it also is part of the allure of it too. So next we're going to talk about, I think it's my favorite product from Rituel de Fille. It's their Rare Light Cream Luminizer. I've had so many of these over the year. Oh, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the Glasswing. There is a video on my channel. I will try to link it in the cards. I will also try to remember to put it in the description box down below. And in that video, I had so many products from Rituel de Fille. I did like a whole swatching video. Now, it's not the best quality video because it's, you know, it's in the before time. So we'll call that's like the before time. So like the swatches, you can't really see everything. And I think a lot of the shades I talked about are discontinued or they no longer make them. You know, it is dated, but you will notice if you go back to look at that, you could see all of the blushes that I had, but also you'll see a lot of this formula. The Rare Light Luminizer is just, I think, the best cream highlighter. I have a couple sample shades and I also have a full-size one and I also treated myself to another full-size one. I would have more of these, except mine expired. They took a long time. So the one I just decluttered at the end of last year, or it might have been the middle of last year, I had it since like 2016 and it just started to smell bad. There is like, you can get a ways with them, but I bought the shade Ghost Light because it looked beautiful. This is the one I'm going to put on my face. I'm going to swatch all the shades I have for you. So we'll swatch Ghost Light. It is like the kind of formula where you put your finger in it and it's quite balmy. And then when you tap it out on the face, it melts into the skin a bit. I now have hair long enough that if something's tacky, I'm going to notice. My hair, for the most part, since I've been a beauty reviewer, hasn't been long enough to like fall on my cheek, but we're now at that point. I don't know that these ever really fully set. I don't feel like they're tacky though. Like, you know, like they're not like a balm whenever they're on your skin, because it does melt into your skin and then leave this beautiful shine. So this is the shade Ghost Light, which I'm so excited to put on my face. And then my friend Andromeda's collab, I have Borealis. I don't know if this one's still in stock. I know they did like a restock of some of the things. I know that they don't have the lipstick anymore, but this is like this beautiful green and it's so pretty. It's interesting because it's like, you might be like, well, green's gonna look really unnatural on the skin. No, it's not. It's weird. It's interesting. Do you see it there? That flip? So it's like when it's like, looks just like normal highlight until you catch it at certain angles. It's so pretty. And even when you're catching it at certain angles, it's not like it's like green. It's like stunning. I also have the shade Icebow. I would say that this is like, I just put this on in a video not that long ago. Or maybe that was that Patreon? Anyway, I'll put this on. This one I would say is like for people with fair skin. I would say that this is like the most neutral, easygoing version of this formula. It's kind of like an icy beige. It's beautiful. I love this formula. I love this formula so much. And then Solaris, I had the full size of Solaris for a long time and I had to, you know, get rid of it because it expired, but it's such a good shade. It has like, it's like a pink champagne flip and it is also very pretty. Also very wearable, very easy to wear. And the thing about these formulas, they're very sheer and I think that they can definitely flex like shades, and they normally demo them on very deep skin, and the way they photograph things on their website, you're like, I'm gonna look like that, and then you get it in real life. Not that it's like, not that's what it look like, but it requires very specific lighting, what they do in that photo studio, for you to get the desired effect. I'm gonna put Ghost Light on the cheek. I was gonna do it with my finger. Well, we're finger painting, so let's do it. And so like, you can definitely like, kind of just stop there, but I'm gonna keep going. This shade has like a lavender shift, and I've been so into lavender these days. Someone called Clove Room, I'm coming for their gig. Remember whenever, maybe you didn't see this on Instagram, they forgot that lavender was like their favorite makeup color. They were like, why do I like this palette that has this purple in it? And I was like, maybe it's because it's lavender. The purple they have in there is lavender. I'm gonna blend out this contour line a little bit. I went a little too harsh. I'm gonna just clean it up a little bit. I still want it to be visible, like that was the point, but I think I'm just like so used to my contour not really being that visible. There we go. Also from the front, it's like one thing, then from the side, the other thing. This is why people are like, I'm afraid to contour, Tom. Okay, wait, you know what I want to do? Before we get to the eyes, let's do a quick highlight cam to kind of like show you. I'm going to do the same thing I do for Sparkle Cam, except I'm going to just do it for my cheek. So you can see this highlight in low light. That's the mood lighting that they do on their photography. I'm going to zoom you in so you can take a look at my skin. None of the other cream products lifted the foundation. Everything's doing its job so beautifully. Look at my skin. Incredible. So I'm going to powder real quick before we move on to eyes, and we'll see how everything takes to powder. And also, I'm going to look up. I'm just going to like, the concealer didn't really shift around or really get caught in my under eye. We'd love to see it. I'm going to powder with the Givenchy, the old formula, real quick, and then we will move on to the rest of the face. The foundation took to the powder really well. We'll see if it breaks through as we continue to navigate the space together because we still have eyes and lips to do. I think the first thing I want to talk about are these. This is the Ashen Ember Eye Soots. I have a couple of shades. I have a retro one. I have two more modern ones. I also have the shade Half Light in a sample, and the sample of the eyeshadow is pretty generous. So I'll swatch these, but I'm not going to put these on my face because there's another eye product that I'm more interested in. Well, we'll swatch these because I'm not going to put them on my eyes, but then, well, I don't know. What is the decision I'd like to make right now, which I do need to make because I'm filming the video. Sometimes you just want someone else to be thinking for you. Sometimes, and it's harmless. You just would like, please think for me for a second. But I feel like we did too much of that, and that's what got us into this mess. Living for this makeup. This is so me. Like, that's so me, you know? It's just like so me. I'm also like I'll edit this out, I guess, if it's not true. I'm like pretty sure that the brand is LGBTQ owned. So we'll start with this one. I don't know if this, again, I don't know if this one's still in stock. This was the one that Andromeda did. And this is the shade Olivine. The TLDR on this formula, because I've tried it before, I haven't found a way for these not to be creasy, but they do sexy creasing. And that is specific, and not all creasy eyeshadows do that. Some eyeshadows crease and I feel like they look terrible. I do get like a pretty good amount of wear. I would say like the 4-hour mark is when they start creasing, but then you can blend them out with your finger again. If you're familiar at all, they're not the same texture as the Rowan eyeshadows, but they kind of have that vibe where it's like sultry, sooty. It's like the next morning you woke up with your makeup on kind of vibe is the kind of vibe. So there's Olivine. And it has this kind of neutral gold sparkle in it. Very pretty. Green is not always my thing anymore. Green used to very much be my thing, and I love this green. I love this green. It's one of my favorite products I tried last year. I also have the shade Flora, and I bought this when I was trying to dupe that one Pat McGrath shade. And I know that people also have issues with this formula. I'll show you the brush I use because I typically use a brush, even though like finger gives you a better look. So this is like a sheer wash of purple with some sparkles in it. I'll do Sparkle Cam on my hand so you can get into the textures of them. Some of them have more texture than others. It just depends on the formula. You can normally tell in the product photography which ones are more sparkly. This is the shade Anima, and this is from the before times. So they updated their packaging because a lot of people were having issues getting their fingers into this teeny tiny hole. And then they also made a brush for this formula whenever they launched the new packaging. And there was a while where you would either get the old packaging or new packaging and it would like denote when you were shopping. But I think they still make this shade. And if you're watching my channel and you're like, how did you acquire something in the old packaging? Because it's been years. There's an indie makeup store that recently went out of business in Pittsburgh, and they carried Ritual de Fille, and it was all marked half off. And I was like, oh yeah. And I thought Anima was really pretty. Anima is very much one of those shades that's like, I'm not really doing anything. I don't want to do anything spectacular. You just kind of like, bleh, and it looks really great. And then we have the shade Half Light. Andromeda did say passively whenever I was mentioning that I was doing this, buying the samples to save a little bit of money and also not waste product. This formula in particular doesn't really kind of stay true to form, but it felt very similar to the other formulas, and this is definitely more of a matte. So I've worn these shades the most, and then this shade, and obviously I've never worn that shade. So I don't know if the different textures might have different longevity, but I would bet probably not. They blend and wear really beautifully on the eyes. I said I would do Sparkle Cam, so let's do that. So if you're asking my opinion of which shades I like the most, the two that I bought the full size of at full price, well, I didn't buy this. If you're asking me my favorite shades that I have tried, Flora is definitely up there, as well as Olivine. If it's still in stock, Olivine's really special, and I can't recommend, of course, my friend's collection enough to you. Like, that's really great. But Flora I bought on my own volition without the assistance of getting it in PR like I did with Olivine. I can firmly say that I do like this formula, but it is one of those formulas that is more specific. You have to be into that sultry kind of like melty kind of eye look. If that's what you're into, then you probably will like this formula. If you don't like that, then I would say this is something to avoid, or definitely worth trying in the sample to see how much wear time you get out of it. If you have dry eyes, your experience might be completely different. I have very oily eyelids, so like my eyes tend to eat product very quickly no matter how much prep I do. Only the sturdiest of sturdy formulas last all day on my eyes. I also, as I continue to age, the longevity of makeup only matters up to a point. Of course, I don't want it to disappear immediately when I put it on my face. If I get 4 hours of wear and it was really beautiful for those 4 hours, and I'm like normally like, that's great. I also don't care how much oil my face produces throughout the day. Anyway, I don't think I want to put this on today. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm gonna prep my eyes real quick with the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I don't know if this is really gonna matter. I'm gonna set it with a powder that's beige, and then we will do eyeliner. This is a product I've tried before. It's their eyeliner. I'm just not like, I haven't found myself, even at this time, being like a gel eyeliner person. I like having it. It is like a nice tool to have. And this isn't really like a gel. It's much like firmer than that. And when I first had this, it was when they first launched it, and I really couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't feel like confident to be like the one who like tells you how this goes. I came to a point where I started using it like an eyeshadow base, and it worked okay for that, but like it wasn't the best. It would, you know, crease on my eyes. It wasn't really meant to do that. I'm gonna shut up because eyeliner, you know? Okay, so that's that eye. That went on really easily, easier than I remember. My skill definitely has improved when it comes to wings since I have this product for the first time. I don't really do graphic looks, so I'll never be the one who's able to like speak to that, but it's doing well so far. I don't know if it will fade. Like the thing was like, this was one of those products I tried so long ago and I very rarely used it. So I'll tinker with this some more. You little wing. Wish me luck. I don't know if I bought the black one or the gray one, so I'll have to check. So if this is the black one, it's not the blackest black I've used. But if it's the gray one, it's a beautiful gray. But I think this is the black. I actually don't. The funny part is I just simply don't know. I think it's the black one. And my wings are just like, they're not the same. And that's okay. And we're just gonna have to live, laugh, love, and move along. Here's what I'll say. This formula is not like really like a gel formula because it's firmer and it actually like stays on the brush really nicely. Sometimes with a gel formula, depending on how melty it gets whenever I put the brush in and how melty it gets on my eyelid, sometimes I feel like gel eyeliner can get away from me. This felt very firm and like it was like going where I wanted it to, and like it allowed for a little bit of like smudging and budging and like still ending up getting the result I wanted. So I actually quite like that. I like that more than I remember liking that product, but again, it's been so long. So I will definitely keep using this. That's a generous amount of eyeliner, at least for like what I tend to do. So this will last me a while. I will make a concerted effort to continue to use it, especially because I've been using those Trixie eyeliners and I can kind of like use those to, you know, contrast and compare. But I liked that. I don't know if I tried this formula. This is their eye gelées, and these are the ones that come in like the coolest colors. I had some sort of formula a while ago from them, and I don't know if it was exactly this one or if it was... They did these limited edition ones a couple of times. I think that formula was different. I remember having this one that was like blue and flaky, and it definitely like really quickly creased on my eyes. This is the shade Cassiopeia, this gray one, and this is the shade Cygnus. I wanted to buy Cassiopeia because it was really hard to tell based on their visuals, like what color it was. Kind of like a slate gray. And then this reminds me a lot of like all of those red brown shades. Oh, I forgot to show you what brush I typically use for the other eyeshadows. While I'm thinking about it, I typically use this brush, and it's from a brand I don't really care about their brushes, but this works really well. It's the Rephr 12, the Rephr 12, this like flat brush, or you could buy the brush from the brand. I'm sure it works really well. They made it for the formula. I want to put one of these on my lid, but like because they're just kind of like eye gloss, they crease. They're definitely like, I think, meant to be more for editorial looks. Not that I'm doing like something really super editorial. I don't know. I thought I was gonna like Cassiopeia. Or any of you correct my pronunciation of Cassiopeia, I just wanted to drop in here and say that I'm pretty sure it's Cassiopeia and not Cassiopeia, which is what I was saying in the video. If I say one comment about it and you commented on the previous 2 times I said it wrong, if you comment on it, you're blocked. Happy Pride! But I think I do want to put this one on. This is the Cygnus shade. And ooh, I really don't know what brush I want to use. This is the E38, but this is more just a means to get it on. I'm going to try to do like a thin layer, a thin wash. Yeah, it's definitely thick and glossy on the brush. Whenever I'm depositing it, you can definitely tell it's like kind of like immediately wanting to crease. So this is for a very specific client. I think this is going to be even more specific than their other eyeshadows because it feels like an eye gloss on the eyes, even though I'm applying it very thinly. But you can hopefully see like how it's kind of like tugging on my skin just like a little bit. And not like in a bad way, but like in a way that like a powder shadow wouldn't really like tug. But it is really pretty. I am doing a sheer wash of it, but I for sure can probably almost guarantee by the end of this video it will crease that Cygnus. It is very pretty. Like, it's really pretty. Let's do sparkle cam. We're already zoomed in. Why not? An update on the Thorn lip oil. It's still very comfortable on the lips. I feel like I can't, like, it's not super tacky anymore. Like, I feel like most of it has, like, kind of gone into my lips. Where the white line would be is normally, there's, like, a black line there. I don't know that it was, like, as visible as those white lines tend to be. But, like, the pigment's still there. You can definitely see that my lips are a little bit darker. I think that's great. I forgot, I have another eye product. This is their Levitation Lash Mascara. And I know some people who really like this, and I know some people who really hate this. So here it is, the Levitation Lash. It's a very short, stubby wand. Let's see what happens. I'll zoom you in. Sorry, I thought we were done with eyes, but then I remembered that about the mascara. I just put it in the wrong place. All right, so the Levitation Lash is on this eye. So, okay, the vibe for me trying this is I feel two ways about it. One, it didn't clump up my lashes at all. It kept them very separated. And then it like made them darker and maybe added a little bit of length, but I don't feel like I got a ton of volume. Lifting and lengthening mascaras. So I don't curl my lashes. So, but I do feel like maybe they're curled up a little bit more without me even curling them. It's a lengthening formula. I tend to like volumizing formulas. I tend to like drama. So I liked the application. I feel like the brush was really good. It's a drier formula, which I do like. I normally am someone who only wants to put on one coat of mascara and kind of move along. I'll build it up to see if I can get it to like a thing that I enjoy, if that makes sense. I don't know if this is a tubing mascara. I haven't used a non-tubing mascara in a while now. This side never goes as smoothly because I use my left hand. Someone commented in a video once, like, I can't believe you don't switch hands when you do your mascara. And I was like, I guess that's what everyone else is doing. Maybe that's not true. I mean, I don't always follow the rules or what people are doing. I don't know. It's like, I can do that. I don't want to be weird. We're going to go in for another coat. See if we can't get something good going here. Okay, more drama, less separation. They are definitely like starting to clump together in this second coat, but it is more drama. Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay. Now it's too much. Not too much. Like, it's not elegant looking drama, but it is drama. It like did build. I kind of like it. I'm kind of into it. I don't know. That's 2 coats. I like the versatility of that because this is probably like how much I'd put on to go out. And then the first one would probably be what I would normally do on a day-to-day basis. I'm gonna try to just like take a spoolie and like maybe try to separate things a little bit more. I don't have a lash separator. They scare me, but I do fear that it would be helpful on my journey. I don't know. I think I like that. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if it smears or anything. This is just application, but I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think of that. How do they look? I have a couple different lip formulas. I messed up. I thought I bought a full size of one of their lipsticks, but I guess I didn't. So I have, I think, 3 of the Enchanted lip sheers. So I have the one from Andromeda's collection, which is the shade Medusae, and it is this sheer kind of like gray green, and it's super grungy on the lips. That's that one. And then I also have Water Violet, and it looks super pink on my wrist. I find that it wears more like a mauve on my lips. It doesn't look cool toned on my wrist either, but I feel like it wears like a true mauve on my lips. I think that's how they describe it on their website too. And then I also have Black Locust. I'm swatching with a finger because it's in the sample tube. And that is what that one looks like. I'll try to build it up a little bit more, but they are sheers. So here's the thing about these. I don't love the formula, but I like love the effect of them. They feel on my lips a little bit like a retro style liquid lipstick, which I don't find them to be like super comfortable, but I do like that sheer kind of blotted effect that they do. Like they don't add a lot of color to the lips. I think Medusae's is like really pretty, and that's probably the prettiest one. I also, I like the colors. I like the effect more than I liked the product itself. So this is one of those things where it's like, I would probably buy more for the effect of them, but I also probably wouldn't recommend them. And then I also got this, which I'm not really sure what this is. It's Rose Dew, which I thought was this, but this is a liquid, and this is what, I don't know what this is. Okay, it is the lip oil. I don't have the regular lipstick formula. If there is enough curiosity in me trying the like regular lipstick formula, let me know. I could use maybe my credit toward it. So I can't speak on that. I think I only have lip sheers here. I've never worn this one. I've worn the other 2, so I'll just apply this one with a brush, or actually I'll apply it with my finger. I think because it is like kind of like a more matte feeling formula, it's keeping like the pigment in place. When we do these glossy formulas with sheer black in them, that's what gets people in trouble. But like, I don't know if you can tell just like by the way my lips look with this, it's like, it's a dry formula. And so you have to do a lot of lip prep before this, or you would want to maybe put something else on top of it, like a balm, or put a balm on underneath it. And I would say also that very true to the experience of wearing the stick version of it, the sample provided that same experience. Also, applying it with the finger was kind of the way to go because it warmed it up. It melted it into the skin. So that is all of the first impressions and all the swatches and all of the this, that, and the other. The eyeglosses with the sheer application didn't really crease up too much. They are an eyegloss, so if you're not into that, it's still a hard pass. I also can already see the foundation kind of breaking through the powder. Not fully, but definitely a little bit right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to tell you things that I love and I think are worth it that I have had a lot of experience with. And then I'm also going to tell you the things that I tried today that were more first impressions, what I'm excited to try more of. Because like I said, like some of this is stuff I really know, some of this stuff is new to me. As far as what I'm really excited to continue playing with that were first impressions today, I really loved the Creature of Light. I really like that. I mean, I don't know how much work it's doing. I'm excited to try it with some of my other favorite foundations. This is in a glass bottle, which I didn't really say before, but this is in a glass bottle. It's beautiful. The scent was a little strange, but I did like it is quite a bit. So I'm excited to play with that again. I am also excited to continue to use the Thorn lip oil. I wish I would have just bought it in Rose Dew as opposed to this black one. I will wear this, so it's not like I won't, but I just think that the sheerer the color, the better in this. I don't know, but it did work out. It was beautiful. I liked it, so I will continue to use it. I'm excited to continue to use it. It reminds me so much of the original formula I tried, so I think this is great. I almost want to say like I recommend this formula, but it's really good so far. I've only worn it for like an hour and a half so far, but like I really like this. It's reminding me a lot of the original formula. I'm very excited to continue wearing this. I'm thrilled about this. The mascara, I mean, it wasn't like a super hit, and it also like, who knows what I'll think about it in a week, but like, I think I like the way my lashes look, and I'm unsure because like not my usual look for lashes, not my typical thing I'm looking for, but I liked it. I liked it. What I want to do next time is not let the formula dry before like, I just want to keep going to see where I can get it, and I think I would get a better result doing that, but I like this, so I'm excited to continue using that. And honestly, the foundation is wearing a lot better than I recall it wearing, so I am excited to put this on a couple more times to see what happens. I think my skin looks more blurred than I remember it looking. I feel like I remember it just kind of making my skin look super textured, so I don't know if my skin has changed or if, you know, my applications just changed and I wear less, or I don't know, maybe I just found the secret to putting it on this time that worked for my skin type. But I'm not gonna lie, I do think my skin looks really good. I can't deny that. And I am excited to continue playing with the eyeliner. I think it looks good. My recommendation to you is don't use me as a resource for like gel potted liner or like a potted liner situation. Like I just don't do it a lot. So like what I'm looking for in it might not be what you're looking for in it. But I feel like it was easy to control, applied well. I like the way it looks. So I like the effect. So I'm excited to continue playing with that. And they gave such a generous amount. Like that will be enough eyeliner for me and how much I use eyeliner for like a year. Like that would take me that's gonna actually take me a long time to go through. And then the things that I recommend that I have tried for many, many years, even though this is a new shade, I highly, highly recommend the Inner Glow Cream pigments. Whether you're buying a blushy shade or one of the contours, Chef's Kiss, like so good. Oh, my whole cheek. Desire is so beautiful. Even though it's redundant, I'm like, do I need a full size? Like, oh my God, just everything about the cheek. Speaking of everything about the cheek, the rare, oh, I have 2 more products. Oh my God. Anyway, let me finish this round of thoughts and then we'll do a bonus 2 things. The Rare Light Luminizers are so good. They're one of my favorite cream highlighters, and this shade is so bitchin'. Okay. And then the final thing I can fully recommend with my full chest that I've tried for years. I really like the eyeshadows. They are specific and like only a specific people will like them, but I do like them. I'm not sure I'm gonna love this eye gloss. I don't like the way it feels on my eyes, but it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to my eyes, but I definitely like these way more than I like the eyeglasses. I have 2 more products that I need to tell you about, and they're both highlighters, which is why I gasped. Rituel de Fille has 2 other highlighter formulas, and I don't have another one in my collection right now. So they have the Metamorphic highlighters, and this is in the shade The Sorcerer. And the main difference between this highlighter and the Rare Light Luminizer is that the shimmer in this formula is a little bit chunkier and piecier and more visible instead of being smooth. This is just like a silver shade, so it might be harder to see as I'm applying it, but it definitely has like distinct shimmer particles in it. Hopefully you can see that. The one on my cheek right now is just more of a glow. I really like this highlighter formula. It's kind of just like the same thing as the Rare Light Luminizer, but with sparkle in it. So if you're not into sparkle, definitely go with Rare Light Luminizer. If you like a little razzle dazzle in your highlight, then maybe the Metamorphic highlighters might be better for you. And they come in some really incredible shades. I don't wear highlighter like that very often anymore. So like it does come up every now and then. Like I do sometimes want that effect in a very real way. It's not something I'm wearing often, and like having a full size of something like that wouldn't be worth it to me. Finally, the Alchemist, which I had a full thing of, and I recently decluttered it because I wasn't wearing it. And this has really, really chunky glitters in it. Way more chunky than the Metamorphic highlighters. It's supposed to be a highlight for your highlights, so like to top the highlights. And there was a time where I was very into that. It was a thing I was very into. And I hit pan on one of these. The thing about this though is sometimes I found it really hard to like evenly disperse the chunky glitter. I think back in the day when I was wearing this the most, I think that bothered me a lot less. And I think depending on the foundation, it could sometimes lift the formula. It just really gives whatever highlighter you're wearing the extra va-va-voom. Anyway, I just put it on my face because I was like, my old friend, like the Metamorphic highlighters, it's something that I want sometimes, but not all the time. I have some eyeshadows that can give me a very similar effect, and I can do that when I want it, and I don't need a whole product to do it for the moments where I feel like it now. Where at one time, like that was my whole life, my whole jam. I loved wearing it all day, every day. That's just like not where I'm at. And that's okay. Our preferences and makeup change. And so that has happened. It's not that I think they're bad products now. They're just not products for me. I'm going to try to get you in on the Alchemist on my cheek now. I do recommend those two formulas if you like a party highlight. If you like a party girl highlight, those are great. I've been filming for a very long time. I'm sorry for how long this video is, but I wanted to give you as much information on the stuff that I have tried for many years and have had in my collection for many years as I can. And I also wanted to like try out some new things from the brand. I love Rituel de Fille just overall. Even if not all of their products work for me, they're always a brand I'm like rooting for. So I will report back on some of the things that I need to test out a little bit more, but I hope I was able to provide you demos and give you information that you might need to make a purchase. I still think the way to go is to do the samples first if you're very curious. Like if you don't want to jump all the way in immediately, do the samples. It'll be very helpful to make your decision of a future purchase. I don't know that all of the contour shades are available in the samples yet, but I might be misspeaking on that. That's gonna wrap up the video. If that was helpful to you and you're not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. You can find those linked below. I do an additional video over there every single month, but there's no pressure to join memberships or Patreon. I'm just happy that you are here. Liking, commenting, and sharing my content is the best way to help me or any other content creator that you might be following. And I will have a pinned comment. At the top of the pinned comment is a link to donate to Sisters Pittsburgh. That's a Black trans-led organization in Pittsburgh, which is the city in which I live. And they help trans people in Pittsburgh get the resources that they need. Sisters Pittsburgh is here helping all the trans people in Pittsburgh. And I really want to support them during this Pride Month. I'll be doing a campaign during Critical Sass this month. So be on the lookout for that and details of that. And I am gonna be done with this video now. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Did I say that right? And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth, tits out.